Coming up, a new model Mooney, and it's powered by a diesel. Also, a diesel engine and a Glasair Sportsman. We go inside GE Honda engines, plus a first flight for the new Jet Ranger 505. And inside the world of the Airboss.
Prep inbound on the final. You're looking good. Just keep that speed and spacing. I got at least 4 on the final and 4 on the downwind at this time.
AOPA Live this week begins in just a moment.
As far as the Verb camera goes, it's the solution. We've used every other action camera and we've thrown them all away or given them away because now we have 5 Verbs and they're all over our airplanes and we wouldn't use anything else.
It's a week of technology and innovation. From first flights to new engines, there's a lot to tell you about. Thanks for choosing AOPA Live this week. I'm Tom Haynes. We begin this week with a new beginning. Mooney is showing off a new design, a first for the company in decades. Mooney is taking aim at the international market with its new M10T and M10J diesel-powered single. The composite fixed-gear M10T is powered by a Continental CD135 diesel engine, and the retractable M10J plays off the popular Mooney M20J and is powered by the Continental CD155 diesel engine. No word on pricing yet. Mooney plans to begin deliveries in 2017. And speaking of Continental diesels, the genesis of those engines is a much modified Mercedes-Benz automotive engine. They're starting to show up everywhere in aviation, including in the experimental market. Now you can get jet fuel power in a home built. There aren't too many home builts that run on Jet A, but this is the Glasair Sportsman diesel. There's a Continental TD155 turbo diesel turning out front, burning about 7 gallons of jet fuel an hour.
If you push the power all the way forward to 100%, 8.8 is about as much fuel as the engine will burn. And then obviously it steps down as you reduce the power. Like you were saying, at 85%, we were seeing a little over 7 gallons. You get it down to about 60%, you see about 4.9.
While we're tossing about numbers, the Sportsman carries 50 gallons of fuel. That means you could fly 600 nautical miles into the outback and then back and not have to refuel.
You know, in terms of a longer range adventure airplane and in the wilder places in the world where you can't get avgas especially, this is going to be a really great option.
The diesel engine is a $60,000 option for the Sportsman, and you can only get it with the factory-directed 2 weeks to taxi program. Continental wants to make sure there are no install complications. But operating the diesel is simplicity itself. A dual-channel full-authority digital engine control, FADEC as they call it, takes care of everything from mixture and timing to prop speed. Startup is simple. Check the FADEC. Push the start button. When the engine is warm, jam the throttle to the stop and go. You'll be off the ground in under 900 feet, even fully loaded. The engine is liquid-cooled. Managing temperatures is simple.
Here, really, you're managing with airspeed and power setting. The mixture is always operating at optimum mixture, which is why the engine tends to be efficient.
And Nick Frisch believes simple equals safety.
You can just set a power lever and not spend a lot of your brain cells figuring out how to operate the engine. You got more brain cells to keep the big end in front, shiny side out, navigate, all those kinds of things.
The Sportsman's construction contributes to safety. The fuselage is a steel tube cage helping to protect what's inside. Wings are aluminum, fuselage skin, composite, or carbon fiber, your choice. For a low stall speed and controllability through the stall, vortex generators.
So you get full aileron control right into the stall. And then the inboard vortex generators are really about the effectiveness of the tail feathers. So you keep airflow right into very low speed flight.
The airplane is fun to fly, more responsive than a Skyhawk. It'll cruise at over 130 knots and land at about 400 feet when you're ready to come home. 3 doors and the aft-facing passenger seats give the folks in back plenty of head and leg room and a good view outside. The base avgas-powered kit with the 2 weeks to taxi option is a little under $190,000. With the diesel, you'll be looking at about $250,000. And you can read much more about the Glasair Diesel Sportsman in my story in the December issue of AOPA Pilot. You can see the digital edition on your tablet computer right now. And elsewhere in the world of propulsion, Honda Aero announced this week that it is shipping new HF120 turbofans from its manufacturing facility in Burlington, North Carolina. Our own Tom Horn visited the North Carolina plant this week and has more.
Honda Aero, in partnership with GE, is hoping to become a leader in the turbofan industry. They've spent decades ramping up to their first production engine. It started back in 1986 with a research program.
And over the years, that has evolved with various generations of turbofan engines. Up until in the early 2004 is when we started to partner and have a discussion with GE.
Honda Aero Inc. Broke ground for this new manufacturing facility for its engines in 2007. But it's only this month that it started to begin producing engines here in Burlington, North Carolina. Prior to that time, they were built by GE in Lynn, Massachusetts.
We're planning for one engine per day, so we're looking at 240 to 250. We have a capacity here to do 500 engines.
The first 100 engines are destined for the Honda jet, with later engines headed to Sierra Industries for Cessna Citation modifications. Company officials say this is just the beginning.
This is our starting line. So now from the starting line, we have to get out there and start making engines and selling engines and reaching for the sky.
Tom Horn, AOPA Live.
Thanks, Tom. The engines are being made under a provisional FAA approval now. Full production certification for the plant is expected in early 2015, just in time for first planned deliveries of the Honda jet. It's a landmark for the next step in light single-engine helicopters. The Bell 505 Jet Ranger X is flying. This video shows the first flight. It went around the patch at the company's Quebec plant. You'll recall we first told you about the 505 when reporting from the HAI show back in February. The aircraft has been a hit so far this year. Bell says there's 240 letters of intent to buy the five-seater. You want to help general aviation and get some cool things in return? Of course you do. Check out the AOPA Foundation auction. You can bid on some really cool things this year. How about a trip to Switzerland and a ride in a Pilatus PC-7? Or maybe tickets to the Masters? How about a flight with Patty Wagstaff or Jim Tweedo in Alaska or funnyman Dave Coulier? Or you could go to the Super Bowl. You get the point. To bid or find out more, check out 501auctions.com/AFI. Bidding is open now. Coming up after the break, the AOPA St. Simons Regional Fly-In's Southern Hospitality and landing 500 airplanes sounds like a job for an air boss.
Just set it down on the numbers. You're looking good. You can plan a midfield turnoff.
You're watching AOPA Live this week.
It's been called the most sophisticated single-engine airplane ever. But to the people whose loved ones are alive today, it's called a lifesaver. The Cirrus Airframe Parachute System, only from Cirrus Aircraft.
Welcome back. You're watching AOPA Live this week. Well, several things happening on the advocacy front this week. And for a look at what that's all about, joined now by Melissa Rudinger, our advocacy expert. And Melissa, I'm just guessing there's probably something on ADSB this week, right?
Absolutely. As you know, ADSB is a hot topic, and cost is one of our biggest concerns about the cost to equip. And we are ready and willing to work with the FAA and industry to break down barriers to meeting the 2020 ADSB out mandate. Next Tuesday, there is a follow-up to that FAA ADSB summit from a couple of weeks ago, and I'll be there reminding the agency that lowering the cost to comply with the requirement that all aircraft be equipped for ADSB out by January 1st, 2020 is at the top of AOPA's list of priorities. The FAA says that all aircraft must be equipped by that date in order to continue in flying in airspace where Mode C is required today. ADSB out works by continuously transmitting data such as altitude, airspeed, velocity, and location from equipped aircraft to ground stations and other aircraft in the vicinity that are also equipped. Air traffic controllers can then see the traffic in real time. AOPA fully supports air traffic modernization, and ADSB is the backbone of that effort. However, AOPA's concerns regarding cost and the FAA's ability to implement air traffic procedures to take advantage of the new technology echo those of the Inspector General at the Department of Transportation. For some aircraft owners, it might make sense to go ahead and equip now, but for a large segment of the piston market, the cost is simply prohibitive. AOPA will work with the FAA and manufacturers on lower cost solutions. And now some good news on the fight to keep Santa Monica Airport. The Los Angeles Times editorial board published an editorial that highlights how important SMO is to the national airspace system and to Southern California. They took a reasonable, common sense approach. They highlighted that the safety concerns expressed by some residents are not justified by the facts. And they argued that the airport should remain open. And that's a very positive step on this ongoing battle. And Tom, there's another big issue. It's third-class medical reform. Congress is back in session this week, and AOPA staff is actively working on the Hill, raising awareness of the need for third-class medical reform, and working with congressional staff to assist them in bringing more co-sponsors on the bill. The GA Pilot Protection Act would remove the need for a third-class medical certificate. It has strong bipartisan support in both houses of Congress. Now remember, the FAA has also gone forward with rulemaking in response to the AOPA EAA petition. The rules are still at the Department of Transportation being reviewed, and from there, they go to the Office of Management and Budget for review. AOPA continues to ask DOT Secretary Anthony Fox to speed up the process and pass this petition. So, two big efforts, one legislative and one regulatory, but both on behalf of AOPA members.
That's right, lots of impatient AOPA members out there waiting for that one. And third-class medical reform is on the mind of pilots everywhere, especially those who came to the AOPA's St. Simons Regional Fly-In. Our giant petition is now many pages long, with 10,000 pilots adding their signature. We filled up many of those lines this last weekend. And it was good old Southern hospitality who welcomed nearly 2,000 visitors to the last regional fly-in of the year. Bluegrass and Barbecue welcomed aviators to St. Simons Island on Friday night. Shanna Lanning is an aviation enthusiast, and she enjoyed the feel of the event.
Just really had a hometown feel, and for pilots, like my husband's he's kind of a rookie pilot at 5 years, just 200 or 300 hours in the plane, but it really made us feel special and welcome, even among these guys who have had thousands of hours. Everybody's so kind, and you have something in common with just about everyone here.
About 500 airplanes flew in for the event. So how do we get all those airplanes in and out safely at a non-towered airport? Well, meet the couple that makes it all happen.
Aircraft inbound on the final, you're looking good. Just keep that speed and spacing. I got at least 4 on the final and 4 on the downwind at this time. My name is Nan Walsh. I'm an air boss at the St. Simons AOPA fly-in. Reports are that there's about 400 airplanes on the ground here. I think maybe we put down 100 last night and probably another 300 since 7 a.m. this morning. This fly-in may have exceeded the most we've done at any one location like this.
All right, I got 4 on the final now. Red Lilling, go ahead and fly it down the runway, please.
I don't think there's a single air traffic controller or air boss out there that works this kind of traffic that really doesn't enjoy the adrenaline rush, or you wouldn't be doing it.
Bear, no delay, straight ahead about another 1,000 feet.
This morning on the way in, with the high volume of traffic, I gotta say it was very valuable having the air boss. They see you, they recognize you. It brings everybody down that funnel very, very safely.
The low wing that's on short final, just set it down to the numbers. You're looking good. You can plan a midfield turnoff.
The coordination necessary to bring all these airplanes in, of course, out in a safe manner. Airbus has the experience, has the knowledge, and proven themselves from here and other facilities. They're doing an outstanding job for us.
Low RV on the left down. When you can bring it in a little bit lower, you're following traffic on a base. This is my husband, John Walsh. John and I have been working together in air traffic control for a long time, really virtually since we met.
Decades, really.
And we also fly together regularly. We work well together under stress. Who's that? See him cutting off?
We play together well, we tag team well. When one flounders, the other one picks him up, and when the other one flounders, vice versa, there's the support's there.
Traffic on base, left base, I want you to break it out. We all have a love of aviation. All of us fly and just want to see things work safely and happen safely. And the Grumman, just keep it rolling all the way down to the end. Grumman, welcome to McKenna. Appreciate your help.
So when they're flying together, who is it that spots the traffic first, do you suppose? Well, we hope you've had a lot of fun this year at the AOPA Regional Fly-Ins. We sure have. Coming up in a future edition of AOPA Live this week, we'll look back at this year's fly-in and we will let you know where we'll be in 2015. That's going to do it for now. Thanks to all the AOPA Live This Week viewers who stopped to say hello at St. Simon's. Great to meet you. We hope you'll join us again next time. If you enjoy AOPA Live this week, do us a favor, tell your friends about it. Thanks for watching. I'm Tom Haynes.